You're watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another anime review. Once again, I'd like to apologize in advance. My voice is still a little bit off from being sick, but it is much better than it was previously. So today I'm reviewing the anime Devilman Crybaby. Warning for up ahead, there will be plenty of spoilers for this video, not only for the Devilman Crybaby series, but also for Devilman just in general, and for Violence Jack. So if you don't know, Devilman Crybaby is the newest adaptation of the original Devilman manga, which was written by Go Nagai back in 1972. This series is a new adaptation of it, with a completely reimagined version of it. The plot is still very much the same. In fact, everything is pretty much as it should be, other than some things happen a little bit differently. But if you don't know the plot of Devilman, I'll give a brief synopsis here. Devilman is the story of Akira Fudo, a wimpy high school student whose friend Ryo one day comes to him and tells him he needs his help. In the original series, it's a little bit more dramatic when Ryo first comes to him than it is in this, and by original series, I mean the manga. Ryo actually doesn't exist in the original 70s anime. I'll go over that in another video when I actually review the 70s anime. Anyway, so Ryo takes him, and basically, long story short, Ryo ends up turning Akira into Devilman, part man, part demon, to help him fight against demons. Of course, a lot of things happen. Humanity finds out that demons exist because it gets broadcast while one of them kills a bunch of people, and a war breaks out between humanity and demonkind. This series, Devilman Crybaby, runs for 10 episodes and covers the entirety of the manga. And I must say, even though sometimes the pacing feels a little bit off, because everything happens a lot faster in this than it does in the original manga, this does a very good job of adapting it, especially with only 10 episodes. I absolutely loved this series. If you don't know, Devilman is by far my favorite Go Nagai work, so seeing it adapted like this in a full anime series was amazing. Because prior to this, it did have an anime series in the 70s, but that was completely different than the manga. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the 70s series. But it's not quite what the manga wanted. It had to be severely toned down because it was marketed towards a younger audience than this new one is. There were also 3 OVAs in the late 90s up until 2000. I have not yet seen those yet. I have seen the original series and read the original manga. I've also read a little bit of Shin Devilman, but back to the topic at hand. This series is very good, it's very emotional, and it has all the violence and sex of the original manga intact, which the original 70s series didn't quite have. There are a couple of very minor nitpicks that I didn't like. First off, I initially hated the art style. Akira himself in the first episode looked horrible, but after he becomes Devilman, he looks a little bit more like he should. I know he does get stronger after he becomes Devilman in the manga, but he doesn't change appearance that drastically. But in this series, he looks like a completely different character. With the art design, I did eventually get used to it. A couple characters still look really off, like Miki and Ryo don't look like they should, but whatever. Once you get used to it, it's fine. Ammon and the demons themselves actually look on point, though. Like, Siren looks like Siren, Ammon looks like Ammon, Satan looks like Satan, Xenon looks like Xenon. They all look like they should. There's a few things that happen differently, like, here's where things get really spoilery, so you've been warned. But there's a few things that happen differently, like, Tare's death isn't by being killed by demon hunters, or at least it technically is, but in this version, he turns into a demon, and I will admit it's been a while since I've read the manga, but to my knowledge, Tare did not ever turn into a demon in the original series. Another weird thing that's kind of worth pointing out is they changed some of the character names, and they're very, very minor changes, such as Tare is now called Taro. I'm still going to refer to him as Tare because that's his name in the original. And Siren, or Serene as she's sometimes called, is called Selene in this. That could just be a translation error with the subtitles, because with Japan, the letter R and L do get mixed up quite a bit, and Siren is sometimes also referred to as Serene depending on the translation, so it's not necessarily incorrect. Also, the thing I found curious is they used the anime name for Psycho Jenny rather than the manga name of Psycho Genie. Now, another interesting thing also is the original 70s anime exists within this show's universe, which really weirds me out because that's all the same character names for the most part, and all the same events sort of happen, just in a lot more toned down way, and it's more of a fighter rather than what it is now. So it's really weird that they make references to the 70s Devilman existing in this universe. Like Tare, he's a huge fan of Devilman in this series, and like puts this little Devilman outfit on his cat and calls him Devil Cat. And there's a point where they mention, I saw that demon on Devilman. It's like, yeah, that was one of the demons in Devilman. So you're referencing a show that has the same events here. Are you not freaked out by that? They never even fully explain this, but I do like it because it does show some like posters and shit from the original Devilman anime, as well as there's a dance remix of the Devilman theme song from the original series, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty faithful adaptation, and with that being said, it does have the same ending as the original Devilman manga, which if you don't know, again, spoilers ahead, is not really the greatest ending until Violence Jack. Because Devilman originally ends with Akira dying to Satan, and then God destroying the world. What you don't see happen in this is when the world gets revived, and Akira gets reincarnated as Violence Jack. I know I previously did a video about how I would adapt Violence Jack, and I said I would leave out the references to Devilman. But after seeing this, I actually do kind of want to see a faithful adaptation of Violence Jack that ends with the whole Jack becoming Devilman again and fighting Satan again, this time winning. Now take that with a grain of salt, because I have not read Violence Jack in its entirety. I've only read up to chapter 27, which is the Evil Town arc. And that's chapter 27 according to the manga reader I've read it on. It may be a higher chapter number, I don't know, because each of the chapters is like 200 pages long. But I do want to see Violence Jack, and I also don't know if it's Shin Violence Jack or the original Violence Jack that culminates with the Devilman thing. Whichever one ends with Devilman defeating Satan, that's the one I want to see. Because the original ending to Devilman, although I love Devilman, the ending is a little disappointing. Now, there also is other things they could adapt, which I would love to see. I'd love to see Shin Devilman, but not as much, because it's a bit of a weird spin-off, because it's a time travel one. But anyway, back to Devilman Crybaby. Very good adaptation, very good series. If you're a fan of Go Nagai and Devilman, you'll definitely like this adaptation. The pacing is a little off at times, the animation style isn't my favorite, but overall, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. I'll also say that this series has officially beat out 91 Days as my favorite anime of the 2010 decade. Anyway, this has been Fugitive Red Eye. Let me know in the comments what you think of Devilman, and have a great rest of the day.